This is quite a sight. I've heard this place in a long time.
Okay, Mayor, meeting is yours.
All right, thank you, Susan. Certainly want to welcome everyone to the Vinton Town Council meeting for this Tuesday, March 17th. And as always, at least when I remember, we will start with the roll call.
Councilmember Lyles.
Here.
Councilmember Mullins. Here. Councilmember Stovall.
Here.
Vice Mayor McCarty.
Here.
Mayor Gross.
Here. Next two items, I'll ask you to stand in just a few seconds. Of course, we observe the moment of silence here at our council meeting so that everyone can pray or meditate as they see fit. During your thoughts and prayers, I hope you'll keep this country, this community, this council meeting, and the Ukraine in your thoughts and prayers. And our Council Member Lyles handles the Pledge of Allegiance. Who you got lined up tonight?
Well, since Chastity's here for all the events, and Sabrina didn't have nothing to do, I asked her if she would.
Kicked me out. He wanted to keep me feeling good.
Okay, folks, if you, after that, if you'll stand, please.
You'll face the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you did well.
Kind of wanted something to do.
Caught me off guard. I'm late now. Time to practice.
Caught us off guard there. Okay, the next item is upcoming announcements. I guess we're going to handle all that a little bit later in the meeting.
Well,
right? Or
well, thanks. You just told me, so I'm just going to go over a couple of them.
Okay.
At Rosie's, Jerome Clater and Touch of Class will be there this Friday, March the 18th at 8 p.m. Mended Fences will be there Saturday at 8 p.m. And Neon Licorice will be there March the 25th at 8 p.m.
cool.
That's at Rosie's, location in Vinton. Twin Creeks, of course, has bingo on Wednesday and trivia Thursdays. Those are both at 6:30. And this Friday on the 18th, from 6:30 to 9:30, there's a band called Blueprint that's going to be there. I understand they're very good, and they've been there before, so they're excited about coming back.
They're all 15, all the members of the band.
Wow.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's several things. Okay, that's several things that's going on. And then I think probably the Dogwood and the Senior Expo may be gone over later. So wanted to say congratulations to Mark Osborne, who had made it through to Hollywood on American Idol. The Welcome to Vinton sign was displayed during his intro. I believe that he is a graduate of Stanton River High School, so I'm very excited about that. But if you're able to see that, it's really impressive. He does a great job, very humble, and we wish him well. So that is a great thing that's happening, and it was real close to home. So and we appreciate the shout out to Vinton with the sign that they showed on there. Also, there's a spring fling at Robin's Nest Primitives and Antiques, and that is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd. It's from 10 to 6. She's a part of a networking group that I am in, and she has lots of good stuff there. So if you're able to go and attend that, that would be nice as well. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. You have been a busy
Oh, wait a
lady.
minute. I want to thank Lori for these pens that I can't figure out how to work. And for making us the homemade pins that she made so nicely. A lot of love went into that, so we greatly appreciate it. I think we've all got them on tonight.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
I have more, if anybody.
You want to talk about that? Did you made these?
I did, yes, sir.
Awesome.
While I was watching television. I'm so
right.
busy.
Yeah.
I was looking at the ones
was
on
watching
Amazon
American
to buy,
Idol.
and they were plastic, and you couldn't get them here quick enough, and I wanted them for tonight, so I
Right.
got busy.
Good
Well,
for
thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So obviously it's in remembrance or recognition of the tragedy that's happening in the Ukraine. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, requests to postpone or change the agenda? Anybody got anything? Nope. If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Tonight it has two items, and that's the minutes for the regular meeting of February 15th and March the 1st. Any changes or additions? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Lyles and a second by Vice Mayor McCarty. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, the good part of the meeting, the awards and presentations. And tonight we have a very special guest with us, Mr. John Hall from the Roanoke Regional Partnership. John, it's all yours, sir. Always good to see you.
It's always good to see you, Mayor. Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you, members of council. Appreciate the opportunity to share with you our annual report for the Roanoke Regional Partnership.
Is it going?
Is it on? What do I do here?
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you again for the opportunity. And in 2021, last year, there was success. We had 2 expansions and 2 new locations in the Roanoke region, a total of 290 jobs and $55 million in capital investment. That includes expansion of Cardinal Glass with 60 jobs and $8 million investment, Munters in Botetourt County of 200 jobs, Balcom and A. Dewey Powell in the city of Roanoke. Last year, the overall economic impact of the work of the Roanoke Regional Partnership equals $125 million. And that number represents 2 figures. That's the economic impact of projects at full build out and expansion. And it's also the impact of events on the region, which is the Blue Ridge Marathon and Go Fest. These impacts equate to 530 jobs created this year, and that includes the multiplier impact. And the key thing to note is in the Roanoke region, when one of these projects scales up, they employ folks throughout the region. Their employees spend money throughout the region on goods and services. And so there's a multiplier impact that's felt regionally beyond just the direct impact of the announcement itself. One of our key functions at the Roanoke Regional Partnership is that of promoting the area for business location. And I'm happy to report that the interest level seen at the Roanoke Regional Partnership has far surpassed pre-pandemic times. So companies are evaluating the region for investment actively and often. So first, let's get some definitions out of the way. Inquiries are the widest part of the lead and project funnel. These are contacts made that have not yet resulted in defined project opportunities, okay? These are contacts made with companies, developers, consultants, site selectors by phone, Zoom, or in person with an opportunity to describe the region's advantages, okay? Projects are defined business opportunities. Oftentimes we know the sector, we know the industry, we know the project's anticipated capital investment, as well as the employment level that's anticipated. And there's an opportunity to respond on behalf of the region with real estate and market information to compete for that opportunity. And then finally, prospects on the screen are companies who have visited to evaluate the market for potential investment. And what you can see is that projects and prospects have far exceeded and these are year-end numbers, 2021, 2020, 2019. They far exceeded the pre-pandemic year. So project activity was up in 2020 in spite of the pandemic, and up even further in 2021. Note the inquiries, 238 is a little bit lower than 2019's number, but those inquiries were basically covered in about a 7-month period. Okay, so most of the traditional outreach activities of the partnership, the shows and consultant opportunities and so forth, were canceled or virtual throughout about half of 2021. So we've been quite busy there. Our team has been at the Roanoke Regional Partnership. In terms of our projects and prospects, we finished the year in 2021 60% above 2020 on a year-to-date basis. And activity's been diverse. We've had interest in cryptocurrency and data, outdoor product manufacturing, food and beverage, logistics, and more. The opportunity is greater than ever before, and the projects are large. Average capital investments in the range of 80 million, and average employment creation of 200 jobs for the opportunities we're seeing right now. A lot of that's driven by some real estate development work that's happened regionally.
Yeah.
And we've been back on the road. So I mentioned, our inquiries were mostly obtained in about a 7-month period last year, and that's because, again, the Site Selectors Guild, the trade shows, the things that we attend to get the word out on the region, they resumed in person. And so from about June of last year, we've been traveling and making up ground and spreading the word. And so these are just some examples of the opportunities that we attended late last year. In December of last year, the partnership launched a consultant and developer-focused marketing campaign around the Innovation Corridor. A full-page ad was run in Area Development Magazine. Special landing page was put into place on Roanoke.org. And we held a webinar with leadership of Carilion Clinic and Fralin Biomedical Research Institute to describe the opportunities not just along the corridor, but regionally for companies in the innovation space. The webinar, I'm pleased to report, was attended by more than 110 attendees. They represented site consultants, real estate professionals, developers, and a few entrepreneurs. And we've had some activity that has spun off from that opportunity as well. In 2021, staff supported regional efforts to increase site readiness throughout the region. The Woodhaven Technology Park in Roanoke County, it's owned by the City of Roanoke, City of Salem, and Roanoke County, was graded, now offering about 2,000 feet of Interstate 81 frontage, and a site offering speed to market for impactful large investments. That work was completed late last year. In addition, staff supported efforts by other governments, such as Botetourt County and Franklin County, to achieve additional funding for their sites. Speed to market real estate has the opportunity to result in investment, and it gives us the opportunity to compete. And I think, frankly, a large part of our the increase in the employment and investment that we're seeing, and as well as the increase in interest, is due in large part to the investment of our governments in real estate development. We did implement our Go Virginia grant to support the regional recovery. A series of roundtables were held to learn more about the challenges faced by businesses throughout the Roanoke region. Referrals were made to service providers like the Western Virginia Workforce Development Board, among others. This information also fed into our Thrive 2027 strategic planning efforts, which was pleased to have the support of Pete Peters and Mayor Gross on that effort. Thank you guys very much for that and your leadership. Late last year, on the talent front, we continued to tell the story of what makes the region a prime destination for workers. Ended the year with a campaign to reach our potential boomerang audience. Those are folks who were educated here, grew up here, moved away, and now have an interest in coming back. And we think that opportunity is greater now than ever. Our Home for the Holidays campaign rounded out the year on the talent front. We had a campaign around Thanksgiving, a campaign around Christmas, highlighting some of the excellent livability and opportunities, amenities, things to take advantage of, food and drink and so forth. And that information was spread throughout the region in terms of its coverage. We had quite a bit of traction on social media, lots of shares, lots of interest generated, supported businesses throughout the region, as well as in the town of Vinton. But we continue to generate interest in the region from a talent perspective, and the region continues to have positive in-migration numbers. Unlike some of the larger metros in Virginia, this region is attracting more in terms of migration than folks moving out. It is an attractive place to live. And we are actively building a network of ambassadors of diverse professional and personal backgrounds to highlight the opportunity to live and work in the Roanoke region. And I'm also pleased to report I'm joined by Taylor Johnson, who is a boomerang herself, and who is leading up our talent efforts. A resident of Vinton, if I'm not mistaken. So
Cool. Awesome. I thought she had a special glow about her.
And on the outdoor front, and I'm joined by Pete Eshelman, Director of Outdoor Branding with the partnership. We have a number of signature events. I'm pleased to report for the benefit of the region that those activities and events did return to an in-person format last year. First and foremost was the Blue Ridge Marathon, America's toughest road race. In spite of several challenges in returning as early as it did in April, we did bring that event back. It was successful, a boost to the image of the region as well as an economic boost of $1.6 million regionally. Go Cross is an event hosting some of the best cyclocross athletes in the world. It's another in-person event. It was hosted in September. This year attracted more pro cyclists than ever before as the opening of the UCI season. So Go Cross has become a national caliber cycling event, enhancing our region's brand and generating impact. And the Go Fest event, signature outdoor event, has become a magnet for visitation, a magnet for brands, an introduction to the outdoors for many throughout the region. This year was held in downtown Roanoke. Based on cell phone data and analysis, we believe we attracted around 28,000 people to that event. Somewhat below pre-pandemic numbers, but still a triumphant return to format for that event. So our events alone have generated an impact of $2.5 million. The economic impact of events that includes the Marathon, Go Fest, and Go Cross, and that factored into that $125 million impact I shared earlier. These are based on surveys of spending. They're based on data of attendance as well, and ticket sales at something like the Marathon, or data regarding cell phones at something like Go Fest, where they're it's a free event. On the outdoor front, we also continued investing in outdoor infrastructure. So not only do we tell the story, we're hoping to make it continually better. So we started Project Outside in August 2020 in response to community and stakeholder feedback to ensure that we aren't loving our outdoor infrastructure to death, and adequately investing in maintenance as well as new infrastructure. Last year we raised $100,000, with half of that coming from Go Fest proceeds, half from citizens and businesses. We were able to award all that money last year to different projects around the region, outdoor infrastructure projects. This year we were able to raise $50,000, and to a large extent that was because the Go Fest sponsors last year, since that event was not held in 2020, I should say in 2020, allowed us to use that money for Project Outside. So we had less money, but we had vastly more in applications than we could fund. We had $146,000, I'm sorry, in applications for Project Outside funding, and we did allocate our $50,000 between projects going to maintenance, new infrastructure, as well as organizational support. We have an advisory council of about 30 members throughout the region, have an interest in the outdoors, business leaders, land managers, citizens, and interest groups who score those applications and provide the recommendation to the Roanoke Outside Foundation board. Roanoke Outside Foundation, by the way, is a sister organization of the Roanoke Regional Partnership. And these are the projects awarded with the latest round of funding. So again, we're making sure not only just to tell the story, but improving that story in the outdoors. I mentioned the Thrive 2027 strategic plan that was completed by our public and private sector leadership and assisted by Ernst & Young Economic Development Advisory Services. I was pleased to present this information to our board, and pleased to present it to you today. We have 4 strategic priorities. And those include not only the economic growth and innovation, which is what the partnership was founded to do in 1983, attracting jobs and investment, but also continuing to work in talent attraction. We have some exciting partnership potential with the Western Virginia Workforce Development Board to put out the word and information on career pathways, as well as to work in the realm of talent attraction, but support them in their talent development efforts with effective communications. And commercial real estate infrastructure, that's around ensuring that we have the tools necessary to compete for meaningful opportunities. And placemaking and livability, continuing to build upon the livability, the outdoors, the mountain and metro mix, the services that make our place an attractive place to be, and continuing to tell that story. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my report, annual report for 2021. Pleased to share it with you today, and would, of course, be pleased to take any questions that you have.
Council, any questions, comments?
Good information.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, John, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you and your staff. What a great bunch of professionals at your staff, and you folks have been helpful for Vinton, and you've had a huge impact on this valley. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I feel like the partnership is kind of like the unsung heroes around the valley. You know, you guys are just involved in so much and have brought so many people to the valley. Just appreciate the work you guys are doing. I can't imagine what we would be without you guys. So appreciate the work you and your staff do.
Well, Mayor, thank you for saying that, and we are very appreciative of the town's support.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you and your staff, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is Mrs. Barber. Ms. Chastity's going to have some information for us.
A couple things. Hello, everyone. Afternoon, Mayor, members of council. Thanks for letting me come up here and speak. I'm going to go through community programs, but while I'm going through community programs, I'll tell you some other dates of events that are coming up. So some are on slides, and then some I'll just talk about. So I'll start off with the very first one. We have one event in March, which is a Senior Expo that the Vinton Chamber houses at the Vinton War Memorial, and that's coming up this Tuesday from 10 until 2. So if anybody knows our seniors, they love it, so y'all make sure y'all come on out. Not that we know any seniors or anything.
Watch it.
I'm happy to announce that April the 16th will be the first Saturday that we'll open up the farmers market. I talked to Gabby yesterday. He'll be back with us again for another season of produce and plants. So that Saturday, April the 16th, will be the first day. We're going to try to squeeze in 2 weeks of market before we get to Dogwood. It all depends on the weather. Y'all know how April is, so we'll just see how it goes. But we'll hope and pray to have more than just Gabby there on April the 16th. Other than that, we're open this year. The season will be open Tuesday through Friday from 9 until 5, Saturdays 9 until 1. Monday Music Jam is still jamming every first and second Monday from 3 until 5:30 at the community center. Sometimes you can come there at 2:30 and they're already rocking. So it just depends on what time that door is unlocked, depends on what time they come here. But I will say last Monday we had 17. So. Oh, wow. The spring, the weather's bringing them out, and last summer, even when, not in the summer, I'm sorry, when we could go back in person, we would have upper 25. And they, really? If y'all ever just stop by there, they love for visitors. They play anything from real instruments to 5-gallon buckets, drums, whatever they can find. They have one little lady that sings, and she's amazing, so go out there, they'd love to see you. Senior line dancing, there has been a change in the time, so I wanted to bring that up. It's still on Tuesdays. It's at 10 and 11:30, and we used to have a 4 o'clock class. We will no longer have it, and we do still have a 6 o'clock class. I just didn't put that in there because I did not find out 100% until I walked in this door. So just so y'all know, Shelly has retired, and we have 2 other line dancers, instructors that have come to take her place, so they just split the shift evenly. We tried to get Shelly. We wanted to come out here, of course, and thank her. She did 12 years of line dancing with us.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
she is really ready to enjoy retirement. So Senior Expo, if you want to come say bye to her, that will be her last performance, and then she's out of here, and she can't wait to travel. So we appreciate her for her 12 years of service, for sure, because she definitely has built this from the ground up. When she started, there was 3 line dancers. She's leaving right now with 105 line dancers total in all 3 classes. We have one class that has 55 dancers in it.
Wow.
So yeah, the proof is there on Tuesdays, just right by the parking lot. Senior Tai Chi and cards. These are my children, let me tell you. I love them, though. Thursdays from 9 to 9:45 is Tai Chi. That's our quiet time when everybody's in there. They do chair Tai Chi. It's really neat if you ever go in there and stop by, 45 minutes. And then you can come at 10 o'clock from 10 to 1:30. And these are my rowdy seniors, as I call them. And they knew I was going to call them that tonight, so it's okay. From 10 to 1:30. Now, if you want to go in there and really have some fun and play some cards, please stop by. They'll tell you everything about Vinton, for sure. The high ground. Now, I wanted to let you guys know, every year we called Hot Shots, and the pressure washing company in Salem, they come out every year and they pressure washer the high ground. And any time that I've called them, they have taken care of that high ground with no problem. I probably called him for 5 months asking for a bill, and he finally told me he would never bill me for it because from one vet to the next, he just wanted to say thank you.
Wow.
So I was like,
Awesome.
oh, I've got to put that in there.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate them, and to all of our veterans too.
I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah, appreciate
Oh,
it.
I just think it was so sweet of him. So now I'll start talking about some events that we've got coming up, that some we've talked about on State of the Town, some we haven't talked about, and some new things. So I'm going to invite Angie in May to come and talk about all the summer events. I'm just going to highlight right now some of the bigger events that we have coming into town that are the newer ones. So in front of you guys, you all have a cup. In front of it is the logo that we just got printed thanks to the chamber board. And you'll have some beads in there because you may have fun on May the 14th. So I know you guys are used to a wine festival, but you'll see a cup and a koozie because you might be able to use both at the Vinton Palooza. There also is a little first aid kit because we know you're going to have so much fun in the front yard of the War Memorial, you might hurt your foot, so there's a Band-Aid in there from Casita. So we're really excited to bring this event, new event to town. It is basically, it's replacing the wine festival, but it's bringing a new trendier vibe is what I'd like to call it. Same time, same place, and May 14th. In June, we will have Iron Man again. Yay, I'm excited. This was year 2 of the year. Is it 3 years total we have as now? June 5th. Am I saying that right? Okay. June 5th, we'll bring back Iron Man, which if y'all were able to see it last year, it's an amazing, to me, we have the best view. If you can watch it on Washington, it is just amazing. Joe Goodpie's anywhere around in there, you can see all the action, in my opinion. So hopefully we'll have even more spectators out this year. So that's June 5th. If you were at the State of the Town this past Thursday, you got to hear Pete announce that we are happy to host the 4 on the 4th. So the Girls and Boys Club is gonna, they have had before previously a 4-mile, true 4-mile race in downtown. This year, they're doing a true 4-mile race in Vinton. And we are very, very happy to have that event. It will happen on July 4th. I'm sorry to our PD, I'm sorry to Public Works. We will be working long days that day, but it'll be so worth it. So the race is in the morning. And they'll start, I think their start time's 6:30ish is what they're going around. Don't quote me on that for sure. Everything is still being determined right now. I just want to get these dates out in front of you guys so y'all just know what all's going on. So that'll be early in the morning, and then that afternoon we'll have the fireworks at the War Memorial, and we'll have our celebration there too. So I know y'all get a lot, and Washington will be shut down, so just be prepared. You can blame it on me.
We always do.
Right, that's fine. You can keep on. That's fine with me. And then one event at the War Memorial that we're really excited about, and it's so new that I just literally put this up from last year. Bourbon and Bubbly was in Vinton last year, just at a different location, and they reached out to us to come to the War Memorial this year. This is not until October 1st at Fall Festival. It's after Fall Festival, but I wanted to get that out there because they'll start selling tickets soon, and I'll know everything pretty much as soon as the tickets start going on sale. So again, just something I wanted y'all to see the date. A great event. Last year when they had it, sold out in less than 2 days. Wow. 225 people. So this will be an indoor and outdoor event at the Vinton War Memorial.
Wow.
So downtown events. We know Dogwood's coming up, but right before Dogwood, I wanted to talk to you guys and let you know about the Hero Expo. Hero Expo we had last year at the Vinton War Memorial, and I told them when we started planning it, this will be your only year here, you're gonna outgrow this place. I'll start tearing up, but I'll get over it. It's dear, dear to my heart. So people a couple I went to high school with, we started planning this because their daughter at the time had cancer. We lost the battle, she lost her battle, and so therefore COVID hit also, so we had to postpone it. So it was 2 years postponed, and last year we got to have it for the first time in person. And like I said, they sold out at the War Memorial. It's a car show is what it is. So it's a nighttime car show. I'm sorry, Mayor. I know it's not your morning car show, but we're working on that, I promise.
It's all
But
right.
it's an evening car show. It's April the 9th. We will be shutting down the streets of downtown in Vinton. The cars will park on Lee Avenue and go all the way down to the farmer's market. There'll be food trucks. All the proceeds goes to this family, Case's family. They're raising money for them now. So every year it's a different child that this goes to. The family, if they're present, they invite them down to this, and actually the kids that are with them pick the award. So the reason why it's called Hero is because the little girl who lost her life's name was Rowan. And her sister now is the one who comes to the car shows every year and helps judge all the cars. So this is just, it's just near and dear to my heart. So I'm glad that we can keep this in town, but again, it is downtown from 5 to 9 on April the 9th. And then we have our Dogwood Festival that's coming up the last weekend of April. So the dates this year just sound weird because the 30th is on Saturday and May 1st is on Sunday. So it sounds like we're having it for 2 weeks, but I promise you it's just Thursday to Sunday. So we will be able to have the carnival again this year. So that's back at the lower Billy Bird field, the baseball field. So we'll have the carnival Thursday and Friday from 6 to 10, Saturday from noon to 10, Sunday from noon to 6. Friday night, we will have a concert at the farmer's market with the beverage garden. And then on Saturday, we will have the normal arts and crafts show, and it's going back the word we don't like to say anymore, pre-COVID, you know. So we're going back to normal, as we call it. So the vendors will be on Lee Street and then at Vinton Baptist Church, back in the parking lot, and we'll have the parade. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, did you say April 30th? It's the last weekend? Okay.
Right, okay.
Dogwood is always the last Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
It's the Saturday of April. I had to read the bylaws, that's the only reason I know.
Thank you.
And then Saturday, we will crown the queen at 12 noon here, outside, weather permitting, or if in here. And then afterwards, we'll have a little refreshment area here. And then the girls will ride to the War Memorial to kick off the parade. So we actually get to have a parade this year, and we're really excited about that, using the same route. Everything will be the same for that, and that starts at 2:30. And we're still getting convertibles, I know. So I know that y'all have heard, but I kind of wanted to let you guys know for some that didn't, that the chamber's moving. Their new office is at the 118 Lee Avenue. If you notice, they've already started taking some of the stuff down off the windows inside. They're moving some stuff, painting some stuff, taking a wall down. We're very excited about this. So you'll see a bunch of changes from the old chamber office, which is at the community center, to now their new office, and then working out some storage. I think it'll be great to have them in downtown. I feel like that's where they need to be, and then everybody can go see them. And so I always leave you guys with a teaser, and my teaser is, I don't know, probably like a year or so ago, I think Pete and Bo were talking that they wanted to paint the streets in the town and all this stuff. And so, long story short, I went ahead and was like, I think we can make this happen. I won't throw Bo under the bus, but I called and I worked another deal is what I did. And so I'm happy to say the stencil came the other week, and I just wanted y'all to see what it is. So it is 20 feet wide and 7.5 feet tall, and it goes in the middle of your crosswalks, and we paint it. So it's layered, and then a layer, and then a layer. But the cool thing to me is the IN, we can change it to all of our events. So the Palooza logo that you see will be the IN in the street when you're driving down the road.
Cool.
Can y'all vision that? It took me a minute. So like, take this crosswalk that's right here in front of the municipal building, put Vinton down on the street, and then that one little block, we can change it, whether it's for July 4th or the mayor's birthday. I don't know, you know, whatever.
Space isn't big enough for all the numbers.
But, so you'll start seeing that. We're going to try it first down at the farmer's market, because, I mean, let's be real, I'm not a professional painter, so it's going to take me a second here. And then once we get it the way that we want it and the colors and everything, then the first one we want to do is right up here at the municipal building.
Cool.
All right.
So I hope you like it. Thank you all for your time. If you have any questions, I know that was kind of fast and some was drawn out, but thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, a whole lot going on. Chastity, I will say, as far as the car show, I like the night ones. Some of us have cars that look better at night, if you know what I mean.
Now, they do have a neon light show if you would like to light up the Maverick.
Oh,
Sure
wow.
can.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So, but I hope y'all do get to come out to some of the events, so I think this is a great opportunity for the town now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
wow, awesome. Lots
present.
going
Great,
on.
thank you.
Nice presentation.
Yeah, nice presentation, and like you said, Mike, but just a lot going on. Way to go. So, Skylar, I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. Maybe you can keep her in line the rest of the meeting. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Gosh, how do you follow something like that, right? Citizens' comments. Anyone have any comments or petitions? Nope. With that, we'll move on to our public hearing for this evening, and of course, this is a biggie. Our public hearing concerning the ordinance, repealing the old ordinance, and adopting the new zoning ordinance. And we have with us Nathan McClung, who will make the presentation, and so I will officially open the public hearing with Nathan's report, and then we'll have public comment and comments from the council. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. So this is a 3-year effort, and it's culminated into the product you have in front of you in the agenda packet. It made the agenda packet a little longer than usual.
A little bit, just a little bit.
But as you know, the Planning Commission has had work sessions over the last 2.5 to 3 years. We also had the joint work sessions where we honed in on major topics in previous months. And on February 24th, after giving the proper notices, the Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend the attached zoning ordinance by reference. So what you have before you is an ordinance adopting the ordinance by reference, the zoning ordinance specifically by reference, and repealing currently what is the ordinance that we have in the present. We've gone over everything in the past meetings, but now you finally have the final product in front of you. This is what will be sent off to the company, and April 1st this will become law. So right now our department's working on making the applications for the new uses that we've produced, and also working on public education campaigns for some of the more complex topics such as signs, as we've found. But we plan on having mailers sent out to all the businesses and nonprofits in the region or in the town to inform them of the changes that they need to be aware of, and we'll obviously be open to any questions by the public as these things roll out. And just to give just a quick overview of the way the ordinance is laid out, you have 11 articles. The first 3 articles are more just general provisions that set up the authority of the ordinance. Then Article 4, you have like the districts, and kind of just breaks down all the districts and uses. Article 5 is the supplemental regulations, so certain uses have supplemental standards that have to be followed. Even though if they're by right or special use, they still have some additional requirements. Article 6 is development standards, so within those uses, so say you had the lot, you know it could be used as, you know the standards, but the next step would be knowing like the landscaping standards, the off-street parking requirements, building heights, or how to construct buildings, and also the sign requirements as well, in addition to the telecommunication facilities section. And then the final few articles are really just based on administration of different processes like site plan reviews, amendments, and those are all based on the state code about the way to go about rezonings and the BZA. And then we've beefed up the definition section to include a lot more sections. But I believe you'll find this new zoning ordinance a lot more user-friendly with the tables and the graphics and charts. And we'll even have outside documents that aren't even in the zoning ordinance that we can give to the public that will provide more visual. I'm a visual learner myself, so it's a lot easier for us to have those graphics available to individuals. But pending any questions, willing to answer any.
Council, any questions, comments?
I just have a real quick comment that 3 years, a little over 3 years, we've been working on this, and we picked April 1st to make this official. So,
It wasn't by accident.
it wasn't? Okay.
Oh, man. That's a good point. But to the other part of your comment, it's been a lot of work.
It has been a lot of work.
And it's something I know you've been heavily involved in, being on the Planning Commission. And Nathan, thank you. And you've done an awesome job with this. So,
Well, I'm glad that, like I said, the Planning Commission and Council, we couldn't have done it without y'all's guidance throughout this, and also being it, even though it took a pretty lengthy time, I think it allows us to have a more customized product and ordinance that's tailored towards like Benton's interest and the interest of the citizens. As you know, in the ordinance, it talks about, we had a virtual feedback on using Google Forms for early surveying, and then we had the in-person community meeting at the community center. But thankfully, we were able to do this all in-house, so we didn't have to spend any funds towards a consultant, and we were able to work with the Planning Commission and the members of the public to develop this. So, thankful.
Yeah, I did want to thank Councilman Lyles and the Planning Commission, but it was actually the mayor and I, as you know, met together with you, and after that first meeting, we said, how exciting. I mean, honestly, how exciting it was. I know people say, "Oh, how do you get exciting over ordinances?" But the fact of looking back and then being able to shape really what I believe we're here for. Not only casting the short-term votes, as I say, but the legacies and the future. I mean, this is the future of the town, because if I think I'll be 100 if they do it again. How long has it been since we did it last one?
A little bit.
But anyway, and then congratulations. I mean, you've done a great job. So yeah, I thought it was well worth and great work.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a long process. I know you'll be glad when this, I mean, you've put a lot of work into this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ordinance takes 5.
Yeah, I'm
Our
looking
department
forward
has
to the next one.
good staff, and like I said, under Nia's leadership, we'll be able to see how this drives development for the next few decades. So, and continually amending
quite
it as
100.
well.
Be close.
I'm looking forward to the next one. So. But seriously, you've done a great job on this, and I hate to put you or Peter anyone on the spot. I wonder, had we farmed this out to a consultant, I wonder what it would have cost.
I believe Anita mentioned that for like a really minimal, nothing in depth, it would be around 100,000. But then to do something as in depth as this, it'd be between 200 and 250,000.
Oh my goodness.
And you guys did it in-house. Awesome.
Wow.
And he was taking a test.
He was busy, right?
As your agent, now is the time for you to look at him and say, okay, I'd like to get a little bit of cut of that for all the work that I did. As if I was your agent, I get 10%, so go ahead and ask me.
Forget I mentioned that, will you? But seriously, what a big deal. It really is. Yeah.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It made our town a lot more business friendly and brought us up to the times as well. So, and I think with the staff that we have now, and we'll stay on top of this.
Absolutely.
Not that we didn't have the staff. I don't think it was ever really brought up, and not a lot of concerns with our ordinances until you start digging into them. And we found a lot while we were digging into some of these ordinances that we weren't going to change. And then saw that we needed to change those as well. So as long as we stay on top of it, I think that this is like a working document.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've had like a wholesale like repealing the old ordinance and adopting in a new format. And you'll see a lot of it was preserved. Like overall, it was just easier to do it in this format of repealing what's current, and because so many things have been moved around, like the articles and divisions. I mean, there's a lot of revisions to a lot of sections, a lot of new additions, a lot of things that have been eliminated, but a lot has been preserved. But it has been, the ordinance has been, the 1995 zoning ordinance was amended continuously over the years, but I guess this was the best and opportune time for us to sit down and, because of just the modern era and different uses and different development styles and everything, to sit down and do this wholesale. So not having to do this every like you wouldn't want to have to wholesale readoption every 4 or 5 years, but maybe you would want to align it with your comprehensive plan, which gets, this can go between 20 and 25 years of long-term planning. But we'll continually have meetings with the Planning Commission to do textual amendments and continually refine this, because there'll be revisions that over time that we'll need to do, and additions to it as well.
Well, that's a good point too, because things do change, so we have to be flexible and make appropriate changes. So it's a good point. Yeah. Well, again, thank you. And just to make this official, are there any comments from the public? I don't see anyone here. Skylar, you have anything? Okay, seriously, thank you very much, Nathan. Great job. So I will officially close the public hearing. And Council, you have before you the ordinance that would in fact adopt, you have the ordinance that would adopt our new zoning ordinance and replace the old one, repeal the old ordinance. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to adopt.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Vice Mayor McCarty, second by by Councilmember Mullins. Susan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles?
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins?
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCarty?
Yes.
Mayor Gross?
Yes. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Nathan. Good job.
Good job, Nathan.
Yes, good job. And with that, we'll move on to our town attorney, and who always does a lot of work for us, but you actually have something to go and present tonight, along with your spiffy tie. It's cool.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members of council, Shintel has reached out to the town and asked for access to the town's public rights-of-way for the purpose of extending fiber to residents in the town. As y'all may be aware, the Virginia Code and Virginia Constitution spell out the process by which a municipality can extend a franchise to an entity such as Shintel. It's a process we've gone through before for Cox. We've also done it for other utilities who similarly use our public rights-of-way. The process will entail advertising, which has already begun, for an ordinance granting a franchise to Shintel. We actually have to extend the opportunity to third parties to submit bids as well for a franchise, and that opportunity will occur at our next meeting on April 5. We'll open bids. Hopefully we get one from Shintel. Perhaps we get one from others.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a public hearing and be able to adopt an ordinance granting a franchise to Shintel. The franchise process, in addition to the state law controlling the procedure, particularly as it relates to cable television franchises, is governed largely by federal telecommunications laws. And it requires a non-discriminatory and non-exclusive type franchise. So the franchise we're going to be granting to Shintel will be very similar in all substantial manners to the Cox franchise. Same similar access. They will be providing RVTV over Shintel Cable. They will be providing drops at town facilities. So it'll be a very similar type arrangement. The agreement will include certain customer service obligations and complaint procedures that the cable company has to adhere to. There are technical service requirements. Again, those come from the FCC regulations. The objective at the end of the day, though, is to increase competition and to create some competition between Shintel and Cox and perhaps others, and drive down the costs for Vinton residents, hopefully. At least that's what we aspire to. The other objective is to, one of Shintel, you've seen the term Glow Fiber. Well, that's Shintel, and part of what they're trying to accomplish here is to give another access for internet providers to give communities a competition in that area, not just for cable television. It's also for telephone and, to a greater extent, internet access. So that's what will be coming into April 5th for consideration. Happy to answer any questions. Like I said, it's going to be very similar to the Cox arrangement, and like I said, for the purpose, hopefully, of creating some competition for the good of the residents.
That sounds good. That's very exciting, actually.
It is. How long is the process usually, like, if we get the bid from Shentel and they go forward?
Well, that is a very good question. I don't know what their process has been. I will say thus far in Salem and parts of the city, they've had a very aggressive time frame. In fact, their aggressive time frame has almost gotten ahead of their ability to get access to those public rights of way. So my guess is they're going to slow down the process a little bit because they need to get access to conduit that's already in the ground, whether that's Cox conduit or Appalachia Power or Virginia Power conduit. That access is what's going to slow the process down. I think they're probably ready to go, but they'll take a little bit of time. But I can't give you a entire deadline. I will say, though, the franchise, I should have mentioned this is a 10-year franchise. You can have franchises up to 40 years, but the way technology is developing, again, we have to make essentially the same franchise available to all cable companies, so we wouldn't want to make it entirely 40 years. There may need to be a renewal and substantive changes as technology and regulations develop.
Gotcha.
Sounds good.
Last summer they were pulling cable out by Bramilton all down the whole, so in the county and the city.
Yeah, they were rolling through Salem
Yeah.
not too long ago.
Oh, wow,
so,
okay.
and I know, Mr. Lockerbie helped me on this, and I know he has Glow Fiber now at his house, and he lives in the Grandin Road area, so they've definitely hit that area.
It's in front of my house. I haven't signed up yet.
Well,
Yeah.
excellent.
Well, I think it's always good to have a competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
Control costs and improve quality both, so it's awesome.
Couldn't imagine that project, though. Couldn't imagine that,
No.
stringing cable all over the city, and I mean, it's like,
At least
seems like a feat.
And in some areas, it's running on poles, so it's not buried. But in other areas, they're having to go underground. At least they have the conduit already there. If they were having to trench and lay new conduit, I think that would be more time-consuming and labor-intensive and costly. But I think for the most part, they're able to take advantage of what infrastructure is already in place.
Big job.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exciting news. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much. So that'll be on our next meeting agenda? Okay, great, thanks.
Ms. Johnson's already got the ads running.
I'm sure. She's always efficient. And with that, we'll move to the town manager. Mr. Peters?
Thank you, Mayor Gross, members of council. I just have one briefing for you this evening, and I will ask Mr. Cody Sexton, our Assistant Town Manager, to brief you on the item. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. It is a very brief briefing tonight. What you all have before you for consideration is a loan from the Virginia Water Facilities Revolving Loan Program with Virginia Resource Authority. This is in some ways a cleanup piece with the utility system. So prior to discussions with the Western Virginia Water Authority to transfer and acquire the Vinton utility system, we had sort of entered into with the Water Authority an agreement, us and the City of Salem, to partner with the Water Authority's upgrade of their digester plant at the wastewater treatment facility. So in consultation with the Water Authority, the $710,000 loan that we're getting from the Virginia Resource Authority is to cover the town's portion of that digester plant project, which I think initiated as far back in 2020, so long before these discussions. So the Water Authority's preference was that we go ahead and initiate that borrowing and bond process with VRA, and then upon conclusion of the transfer to the system, this bond would then go to the Water Authority for them. So we do have to go through the process of closing. Webster Day will be our bond counsel for this, which the town has used him in the past. The details of the term of the bond are listed in the package and on the commitment letter, but as mentioned, it is anticipated that
this bond will go to the Water Authority on July 1st.
Okay, great, great. Council, you have any questions, comments? No? Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
I have no other updates for you this evening.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you, sir. All right, and I don't see anything listed for committee reports. So, Council, I'll move on to your section. Councilmember Lyles, you want to start this evening?
I don't really have too much more. A lot going on in Vinton. It's starting to warm up, and so there'll be a lot more things happening. I'm sure that Sabrina's list will grow over the next month or so. So I'm just looking forward to spring and the Dogwood Festival and kicking off the good weather season.
You bet.
Yep.
It's a good lemonade season, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And on a personal or on a business note, if you get an email from the mayor, call him first before you answer it.
Yeah.
I answered it, and they wanted me to go. He wanted me to go buy 4 $100 Apple gift cards and send them somewhere. You owe me $400.
Yeah, right.
Are you the only one that got that?
Hey,
I got that.
So far,
you got to come to your right, so we're waiting on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right?
Start with counting the vice mayor back
Exactly.
around this way.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, this goes to show how crazy things can be. You know, just
yeah.
Wow.
They had,
Don't click on the attachments.
yeah, there was no attachments. You know, it just said that he was in a meeting and he needed me to go do something for him. So
Oh, my goodness.
I got it a day and a half later. I was like, well, don't need to do that.
yeah. Well, what was funny, though, Keith sent me a text message and said, sorry I didn't answer your email. And I went, gosh, I don't remember an email, you know, so crazy. Well, we got to be careful these days.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, working in banking, I have seen people go get those.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Can't get that money back.
Oh, no.
Usually are older folks. Not just
Oh, man.
God, that gets very confused that, you know, that person, they know them and they go ahead, you
Yeah.
know, they don't think about it. So
Oh,
unfortunately, that's
Crane.
the way life is. So good catch.
Yeah,
Glad
I've
you
heard
didn't do
of,
it.
you know, the older folks. It happened to my aunt that lives in Stewartsville at one time. And however, I've never seen it to where, you know,
They just keep
our
on.
relationship, you know, how
That's
she
what got
paired
me.
me and the mayor together, you know,
Yeah,
as far
I
as
know.
that
Yeah.
goes. So it's
Someone-
just,
Age?
people
someone-
keep going and doing different things, so
Yeah.
just be careful.
Yeah, that's a good point. They knew our
Everybody's
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Goodness.
But,
Do you have anything further, ma'am?
just be careful with that stuff. And thanks again for the pens, Lori.
yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you, Lori, for all that. Ma'am, anything?
Well, y'all are probably expecting this, but way to go, Hokies. ACC champions.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry I dropped the mic.
Oh, now.
There's a UVA fan.
That was my phone. I'm just begging.
Super proud of those boys and coaches, and that's exciting times. So if anybody wants to join me at Rosie's, we'll be watching basketball.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding.
That'd be a great place to watch.
Yep,
That'd be
yep.
a great place to watch.
Good idea.
I'm excited for all the upcoming things, and if everyone will just keep the Ukrainian people and president in their thoughts.
Yep.
They're having a rough time.
Yep. And thank you again for the pen. Sir, anything further?
You know, Mr. Mayor, I'm good. With Councilmember Lyles and Mullins and, you know, Councilmember McCarty reading out all the things that's going on. I mean, we just, you know, it's looking for some warm weather and some good times.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. And it sounds like we're going to have a lot to do.
Isn't that the truth?
Thank you. Well, under the mayor's section tonight, as you folks mentioned, a lot of great activities. I'm looking forward to a lot of them. But I wanted to particularly take this moment to thank everyone that attended the State of the Town address, and particularly want to thank our staff, War Memorial staff, and Pete for a great job, and Susan for all her help. And you know, it was definitely a team effort. And I thought you made a good comment, Chief. It came off very professional, I thought. And so that's because it was a team effort. So thank you, folks, and council. Thank you for being here. That was nice. That was very
It was
nice.
excellent.
Yeah, it was good.
Good turnout.
It was a good turnout, yeah. So,
Anybody wants to know what's going on in Vinton?
yeah, exactly right. So, all right. Anything further to come before council meeting this evening? Nope. Again, thank you, folks, for the attendance at the State of the Town and for all you're doing. We appreciate all the hard work around here. If there's nothing further, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor signify by leaving. Thank you, folks. God bless.
1 hour.